I'm just going to put in a little tree here, that happy little tree.
I'm just gonna put in a little tree here, that happy little tree.
That happy
little tree. It loses its punch.
Oh, no, that's too close. Too close. Isn't good at that. Ugh. I could smell that. Okay, so how are we going to start?
As we always do.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the podcast! Touching those nipples!
Podcast!
So, I'll slow it all down.
We can jungle is massive. Oh, David Attenborough.
What if he had a newsreader's voice?
No. David Attenborough does Gollum.
The precious is mine. Or like the movie voice. One man, one desire, one ring, one precious, it's mine, forever, and in my mouth. Hopefully that will sound well there. Two fat ladies, you and your mum.
I will show you the dark side.
It sounds like when he's got the mask on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In the right corner, we have...
Big Man!
Right, look, I'm not going to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, because this isn't the Truman Show. What it is the Modded Gossip podcast. So welcome, everyone.
Welcome! Sorry, that's very
Please
gangster.
put
I
all
like
your
a sideways
tokens
gun.
in the tray in front of you.
Have you got a
right
collecting
now.
cup?
Yes.
Show me.
Everyone should get the Modded Gossip collecting cup, which is here. It's not in the merch store yet. Will be.
Will be. I don't have any of my 3D prints handy that I can show. Damn.
I whip out my helmet. Anyway.
Bad jokes, I know. Bad jokes. But anyway, well, welcome to the Modded Gossip podcast, episode 3.
Welcome. Three.
Which is good.
Unless you're German. Do it like that.
That's I did do that.
Oh, you did? Yeah, Tarantino style.
I can't do it like that. I don't have strong enough muscles here.
I can, but I do it like this.
Well, that's 3, but it's 3 anyway. Episode 3. Woo! But yeah,
apparently 92% of people can't do that either, naturally.
Oh, they have to do it with...
I just can't do it.
Yeah, I have to do it with my other hand. I can't just go like that. Oh, all right.
Can you do this?
I can do that on one hand, but on the other, it's really uncomfortable.
Can you make a dragon?
Oh, what's that?
Hi there. Ha ha ha. I'm Mr. Dragon.
Puff. There you go. Yeah. So look, you've just seen some finger puppet madness there.
That's fucking horrifying.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Because my thumbs have gone red. It looks really demonic.
Kids love it.
Oh, I bet they do. Anyway,
oh.
Welcome to episode 3, ladies and gentlemen. We have spoken enough about our dragon techniques and our 3D printing. We've got a few things that we're going to go through. There's probably about 10 subjects, which some will get cut, some will get added. But yeah, we're going to start this off with a very strong subject. We hope everyone's good and hope everyone's having a great day, great week. But we're going to start off with something that's quite close to our hearts, and that is retail. And the reason why we're starting with retail is because in the recent months we've seen a lot of shops that have just closed down, have just stopped.
Staples. They were staples of our childhood as well.
Yeah.
And it's not that they're good shops, as in they might not be the most competitive. In a lot of, times now, retail isn't the most competitive on the high street. But it's the fact that, you see these stores on the high street, especially in Britain. We do have our malls and shopping centres, but the high street where you have a single main street in the town that's got all different shops in, that's still prevalent. But it's it's starting to fade away now. So yeah, this week it was Maplin, and for all you US viewers out there, it's the equivalent of Radio Shack. I think it would be the.
Is it not
Radio
like
Shack,
the same sort of? I think it's the subsidiary of the same company, isn't it? Radio Shack and Maplin?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't done homework on that effect, but
excuse me. Yes.
So, yeah.
It's really tough, isn't it? Because obviously, recently we've had Toys R Us, which obviously we know why Toys R Us went, because, well, it's obvious. We had a good experience actually with Toys R Us a couple of days ago. That we went there. We were just going to have a look, trying to get a Nintendo Switch because we're overdue. We were overdue one. We needed to get one. We went there and had a look at the board games, and we found Monopoly Gamer Edition, which is just like Monopoly, but it's really like toned down. But it uses Nintendo characters, and they have different abilities, and it's fun. It's really fun. And even after the discount, they wanted 25 quid for it. That's after their 20%, 25% discount.
Yeah, but you go
excuse
online.
Excuse those beeps. Sorry, that's my fan controller of my PC. I can't really edit that out, but I need to disconnect it. But yeah,
It gets lonely. It wants attention.
it does. It just gets lonely. It wants attention. But yeah, we went in there and it was 24 quid after their discount, their closing down discount. And my partner decided, I'm just going to check Smith's Toys, which is obviously the main competitor that's actually like taken
in the
them
UK.
down. Yeah, in the UK, their main competitor, and they wanted 17 quid, no discount. That was their standard price,
Yeah,
17
it's crazy,
quid.
you see.
And you're like, if they can sell it for that low, and and Toys R Us prices are like that, no wonder. Like, no wonder they're going down. It's because they're not adapting to the times.
I think it's also a combination. Obviously, in the UK, nearly all Toys R Us are on the outskirts of town. Normally, they're large, very large warehouse-style stores, and they don't get enough footfall
Yeah, nowhere near.
to sell enough goods to stay competitive because the rental cost on that is exorbitant. I like using that word. I don't get to use it often, so yeah, it's exorbitant.
And another thing that's kind of local to us here, it's a point that unless you know who we are, and unless you're local to us, you won't sort of understand it. But near us, our Toys R Us is friggin' massive. We're talking warehouse size. We're talking massive. It's on its own like estate.
Yeah.
Like near a big Tesco, which is a superstore. If that goes, no business is going to go in it. No business is going to want that building. It's too big. It's too out of the way. I don't even think it's going to be turned into offices because it's not the right sort of building. There's going to have to be a lot of work to it. So I think that's just going to end up going derelict. The rent's just not going to be paid. It's just too big. Toys R Us sites are just too big. But it's a real shame because Toys R Us
there's a supermarket there, so it's not like we need to have a supermarket there, to be honest. Even the roundabout gets called in popular vernacular the Toys R Us roundabout.
Yeah. It's not Tesco roundabout. It's Toys R Us. But I've got some good stories about Toys R Us. Like I remember, like as a kid, I must have been only about 5 years old, and me, my mum, dad, and my brother used to go to Toys R Us and just have a look around. And my brother he was really into Action Man at the time, and he was going around like all the Action Man toys, and I was really into the PC games, like the old 386 boxed PC games. And I remember leaving because it was on sale at the time. I think I left with the Lion King boxed PC game and the Aladdin boxed PC game on floppy disk, and I loved it. And my brother had a tantrum because he couldn't have something because it was way expensive, or I don't know, it was over the top. And me being the quiet, shy little fat kid, he was just like, oh, thanks mum, thank you, like as a 5-year-old kid. But even though all it was a couple of PC games and some Action Man thing, that's a memory that's stuck in my head with Toys R Us. Like we used to go there to look at bikes, and they are memories that my children will never have. I don't have any children, but when I do, they're not going to experience Toys R Us. They're not going to experience
I don't think
the
they'll
joy.
experience retail, because a lot of retail is all about the tactility of it. And you go in, you pick items up, and you look at them, and you judge them. But nowadays, it's all online. And don't get me wrong, we both shop online.
Yeah.
If you know what you want, you're going to buy it from the place that does the best offer at the end of the day, and that's fine.
Oh, of course you are.
I'm not against change. Change is inevitable, and I think a lot of people rail against change in life in general. It's just sad. It's sad to see these shops, and Maplin was another victim of it. And yes, Maplin was overpriced, but they did a selection of. It wasn't just electronics, but they did a lot of audio equipment. They also did a lot of electronic hobbyist equipment as well. And that, if you're in a bind and you need something quickly, and you want to, if you have to pay 20% more than somewhere else, but you can get it on the day. It's a bit like Jessop's, which is a photography company. I mean, they've been bought out and they're still on the high street, but really you go there to window shop.
Oh, definitely.
You go to Jessop's to look, then you go online to buy.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jessop's is still up and running, but for how long? I don't think Jessop's is going to last, especially when you can get cameras from second-hand retailers for cheap with warranties, and you buy new. It's mainly Amazon because they are usually cheaper. It's like I'm not really versed in digital cameras. I'm going to put
Yeah.
this drink down because I think
Yeah,
I'm
you
going to
better
drop
do.
it.
I thought you were going to tip it all over
I was
yourself.
going to have some, and then I got into this. But, I'm not very versed in camera equipment or anything to do with that, but I'm pretty sure that a lot of people do what you do. They go into Jessop's, they have a look at what they want. It's just like a glorified showroom.
Yeah,
And they sit
exactly.
there and they think, yes, this is definitely the camera that I want. They look at the price and they'll be like, no, let's check Amazon or let's check any other
And they can
retailer.
do it on their phones live. It's not
That's
like
it. That's what it
they
is.
just do it live.
Now that everyone's got the internet in their pocket, there is no competition now. Competition is not retail like high street shops anymore. It's digital. It's, there are big websites that, remember when play.com was a thing before it went into Rakuten or whatever it is. You used to sit there and go on that, and I remember going into different...
Play.com was great because it was based on being in Jersey or Guernsey. Now, in the UK, Jersey and Guernsey are two small islands that are part of the United Kingdom territories, but they're tax havens. So anything you bought from play.com from there, you wouldn't have to pay value-added tax, which is pretty cool. At the time, I think it was 17.5%.
Yeah.
But I used to use Play when I was at university, so 2002. I just get a lot of DVDs from there back in the day. But I think the internet itself and the transparency of information now is just you've lost some of the magic. While it's more convenient and it can be cheaper to buy things, we talk about thrifting for different retro games, retro computer electronics and gaming bits. That doesn't happen anymore because the people working in the shops, like the charity shops, stuff like that, they're all knowledgeable. I'm sure some people only work in these shops 2 or 3 hours a week just to make a profit off what comes in, so they can be the first to nab the stuff.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I watched thrifting videos on YouTube from America, and it seems like LGR. I really like LGR's thrifting, and he says that he has to do a lot of editing to bring a whole episode together, but he does find some good items, and even items which he doesn't think are worth it because a lot of the shops are flooded by them, like, I don't know, old office PCs. You'd never see that in a shop here.
No, you wouldn't.
Well,
thrifting isn't a thing in the UK.
No,
there isn't any businesses, or any shops that have thrift stores. It's all charity shops where they've all got access to the internet, so everything is all priced as it should be. Like, it's pretty much eBay prices to all the people that know what it's worth. Like, I do have a charity shop experience, and you were with me at the time.
I was, yes.
I was at work one time,
amazing.
And I think everyone knows. Can I name drop where I work? I think it's
up to you. I don't see any problem with it. It's up to you.
I work for CEX, believe it or not, in a tiny little town.
Do you want to explain to everyone what CEX is?
CEX means Complete Entertainment Exchange. It's basically where you sell all of your old electronics and your games to buy new stuff, like phones. It's like an actual licensed, good quality, like, pawn shop.
It's like Cash Converters, but it specialises in electronics, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, electronics and digital entertainment. It's really good. But I worked there, and we were just hanging around. You come in to see me, and all of a sudden this woman came in with this box, and I didn't pay any attention to it. And then she left, and I was like, "Oh, right. What was all that?" And then she was like, "Oh, it was a BlizzCon box." And I was like, "You what? What?" And I literally went straight there, and it was a BlizzCon 2015 with all of the items in it. So it had the bag, it had the little figures, it had like the inflatable StarCraft sword, League of Legends something figure, and Hearthstone tags, everything that was in it that you could get from BlizzCon. It was amazing. I got it for like 30 quid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And that's something you cannot buy. And the
But
only
they
reason
did
I
check
got
online first. They checked online first to get the.
I think the reason why I got it for 30 quid is because who's selling that?
Oh no,
no one sells it, so they're like, "Oh, how can we put a price?" They just see, "Oh, bag, 30 quid." They could have for a BlizzCon 2015, like boxed edition. Basically the BlizzCon boxes.
Mm-hmm.
You either have to go to the event, to get one, or you have to buy a ticket to watch the stream online, and then you get basically the opportunity to purchase one and send it to you.
Yeah, and that's fine because it is an exclusive bag.
If you don't get one, you won't get that. You won't get it anywhere else. You can't buy it. And someone traded it in. I really don't want to kind of think about where that's come from or why it's come in. I hope the person that had it before isn't like deceased or
No,
something like
some
that
poor
is.
sod's gone to university and their parents have decided to clear out
Yeah, and I
their,
feel
room.
sorry for them because they'll be like, "Oh, that was my BlizzCon bag."
Yeah, I'd say that's probably what happened.
But well, if you're watching this or you end up watching it, I've got it, and I'm sorry, I paid 30 quid. If you want it back, you can have it for 300. However, I have used the bag.
Oh,
But yeah,
well,
no, that's charity shop. And that's because I went in there quick. I went in there really quick, and I was like, no, I want to be able to like catch it before it actually like they actually find out how much it's worth. But I think that's quite a good little charity shop experience. Other than that, I haven't really had any charity shop experiences. Like, we don't have thrift stores, like we went back to on our original point. I've gone in there and I've bought some PS1 games. If we had a thrift store, I would be in my element. Honestly, I would be in my element.
It's
We'd
also
both go.
I enjoy, as a hobby, I enjoy finding tech deals, gaming deals online, whether it's eBay really, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy flipping for profit. You know, whatever
I've
it
never
is.
done that.
I
I want
I
to,
don't
but
do
I've
it as much now, but I used to, buy a lot of secondhand parts and make budget gaming PCs and flip them online for a profit, and I enjoyed it. I didn't make that much, but as a hobby, it was nice to be able to find these deals, and
then sell, and then you'd be like, yes, I did this.
yeah, and but it's not just the retail or thrifting experience in terms of shops. You look at trying to go on Gumtree. I watch Brian Tech Yes City. Do you ever watch him? He's an Aussie, great
No.
guy. Used to live in Japan. He's got a really good channel, and he does a lot of hustle in Australia. But it's amazing the prices, like 30% cheaper than here, even when you
Wow.
do the dollar conversion. But he'll buy a lot of graphics cards and he'll buy a lot of systems and make these PCs that you couldn't do it here.
No.
Maybe you could in metropolitan areas, some of the biggest cities, but in the UK it's just non-existent, really.
And it's a
just
real
doesn't
shame.
happen.
It's something that we need. We need thrift stores, but you say, it's not ever going to happen.
No,
Not
and
until
I
the
think it
internet
doesn't help,
stops.
yeah,
For people in
well,
their pockets.
You look at a website and you look at how quickly you can make a website and make it into a retail experience. Now,
Yeah.
aside from the stock, which a shop would have to have as well as a website, take that out of the equation, there's hardly any risk.
Mm.
The website's the website. You're paying for the space maybe, and you're paying a small...
Some domains are like £1 a month.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's,
12 quid a year.
Even if you're paying £100 a year, you open a shop, you've got, the space, the rent, the rates,
Electric, water, utilities,
and everything else. So, retail is dying, but I think it might evolve. You might see a lot of the high-end websites maybe doing showrooms for their more tactile goods, where people are a bit dubious of just going out and buying something without actually touching it. I mean, for me, I prefer to buy clothes in a shop. I don't just
try them on
online.
first.
It's not just trying them on; it's seeing whether the fabric is nice. I've got a thing for jeans. I like soft jeans. You can't check that online, and it's fine. A lot of the websites you can buy something, you send it back for free, but it's still time and inconvenience. So,
well, if people want to go out and they, for instance, you're a girl and you want to go out and get a dress for that night, you can't order that and then it arrive the same day. You want to go out, you want to be able to try it on, you want to say, yes, this is my outfit for tonight if you're unorganised,
Yeah,
But
of course.
As soon as the shops go, there's nothing really, you can't do that. You think, oh, if I want a new dress, I'm going to have to buy online 4 weeks in advance in case it's wrong so I can send it back, get a new size.
And obviously, the times change to fit what's going on, and I understand that, but it's just sad to see these shops going because they were part of our childhoods, and obviously that's part of getting older. I suppose the world around you becomes less familiar.
Yeah.
Which is the way of things. But yeah, look, it's making me sad now. Let's just
It is
move
making
on.
me sad. But yeah, Maplin is the latest.
Yeah, Maplin's
the latest thing. Apparently, though, I did some reading up on it, and I think Edinburgh Woolen Mill has taken it over.
What, they're buying Maplin?
I think it's owned by like the people that own Edinburgh Woolen Mill own loads of companies. I'm pretty sure that they're buying Maplin.
That'd be interesting.
Like, I don't know whether it's buying Maplin's sort of side of the business, not Maplin as a name, but basically like that. So then they will start in all of their branches not of Edinburgh Woolen Mill, but of everything that they own,
Yeah.
every branch that they own, they
Adding
might
lots
start
of sort of
stocking
concession.
electronics.
Okay.
I don't know, but that's what I've read up on. So hopefully they're not dead,
No.
because there's a lot of staff that work for Maplin, and they're going to go through exactly the same as what Toys R Us did, and what we used to work for Blockbuster. God rest its soul.
Started on Blockbuster, yeah.
But
Because
yeah,
Blockbuster was a real service industry. People came in and they wanted recommendations on what movies to watch. And I think, you can't get that anymore. You can get it to a point if you go to the cinema and you're a regular and you see employees there and you can talk to them. But Blockbuster, especially, it was a hub. It was a social hub a lot of the time for people within a town. And you really, struck up a relationship with different customers that came in, which was really cool.
but things like services like Blockbuster, I guess there's no need for the market, because now we've got subscription services, things like Netflix, that, and we've got points here that basically the big budget movies are now moving to subscription services.
I watched Annihilation, which came out on Netflix, I think, yesterday, and it's got a limited cinema release in America, but everywhere else it's gone straight to Netflix. And it's a big budget film. It's what I'd call a hard science fiction film, and I won't go into the plot. And I did enjoy it, but is there then going to be a threat to cinemas, because they suffer the same way retail does, or they can suffer in terms of the way retail does compared to subscription services. The advantage is, you could say, they're doing like the 4D screens now where the chairs move and there's different effects. If you go back 15 years ago, there was a real disparity between cinema and the home. You couldn't get the kind of experience.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's the experience. You go to the cinema for the
Affordable
experience,
cinema experience. For 600 quid, let's say 600 quid, it's around 600 quid, you can get yourself a 50-inch telly and a surround sound kit. Now, okay, it's not a massive TV compared to a cinema screen, but you're nearly there in terms of a cinema experience. 15 years ago, it would have cost you thousands to get a rear projection telly and a surround sound kit. Not even including inflation. It would have been really expensive 15, 20 years ago to do that. So now I think that the gap is closing between. I love the cinema. I love going of an evening. I think it's a real event. I enjoy the experience. I enjoy getting the overpriced popcorn and the overpriced drink and sitting in the seat and being in awe of, and watching the trailers as well, which I've never do.
I've got a story about that. I actually know quite a lot about cinema. I'm not going to go into the reasons why, but you know why.
Mm-hmm.
But the pricing of cinemas is actually quite sad. It's basically everything is priced relatively, and it's actually quite fair when you think about what they have to pay for. Because you pay 15 quid for a cinema ticket, 14 quid of that goes to the movie distributor.
Yeah.
So they make £1, and that's why the concessions are so overpriced, is because they need to run their business and they need to pay their staff. The whole business runs on concessions. And especially if they offer like free parking services, that's not free. That's not free for them. They will pay a yearly amount to that owner of that car park to basically say, let us, our customers, use that for free. We will pay you this much a year. If anyone else uses it, then fine. But if it's the cinema, as a service. But I'm quite surprised about, that just how they make money. The concessions are overpriced, but whenever I'm buying concessions, I never complain, because I always sit there and go, do you know what? This is the reason why. This is...
Yeah, but not many people know that.
I know, but people do need to know that. People need to understand that when you're paying £3.50 for popcorn, when it probably only costs like 20p, it's because you're paying for that experience, and that they're, as you say, they are creating an experience, because that costs nothing. Once they've got all the gear inside, they can make your experience better. They can, most cinema employees will go head over heels to help you, and they will do. They know what it's like. They love the cinema experience just as much as you do. That's why they're employed. So that's where they're bringing the experience in, but they don't have. It's just not enough. Well, they're just not making enough money from the actual films they put on. Like Star Wars massive release, but you think of how much money that they had to pay to bring that into their
Oh yeah,
branch.
you know, it's the same with Blockbuster. Each rental DVD of Blockbuster, but there was a whole fiasco that I won't go into now with Warner Brothers. And basically, it drove the prices up, and it was about 47 quid, 15, no, nearly 20 years ago per DVD. So
It's for the rental licenses,
yeah,
wasn't it?
so when a rental was £3, say 50 for argument's sake, you'd have to rent out an item, 12 to 14 times before it then can start making a profit.
But bearing in mind though, like 12 to 14 times doesn't sound a lot, but if you're holding a DVD for a night or 2 nights, or like a film from that store, they can't make any more money off that. And then by the time that they're actually going to start making their money back on that film, they're now not relevant because new movies have come in. Like, so some films get forgotten, and it's people will be like, "Oh, I'll wait until they're the pound ones." The pound rentals,
exactly.
and then it takes even longer to make that money back. Every film that you see in Blockbuster, they didn't just sit there and buy a tenner DVD and then charge you $3.50. It's not. They pay up to 50 quid per license to be able to rent that single DVD out. And then if something doesn't get rented, if they've bought 50 copies of something and it's crap, and no one rents it, that's a large chunk of money that they lose.
It's very difficult
per
to call
store,
that back.
and it is, and that's. But when we're going into subscription services, you pay your set subscription, and there's so much variety.
Subscription now.
They want their loyalty. They want loyalty, don't they? Of course they do.
But what they've also got is they're making that fixed amount every month off those subscriptions. That's a guaranteed income.
And then they'll stop you from going to any other competitor.
Yeah. And not just that, if they're a chain, if you're out of your own hometown, you want to go to cinema, you're going to go to the chain where you've got the
oh, of course, yeah.
So it's almost like it's a national subscription. So it isn't just local.
The two main big boys, I think, around here, well, for us anyway, is Cineworld and Empire.
Yeah, that's right.
Empire don't do a subscription.
They are going to be doing one shortly.
But what I mean is that they don't at the moment.
No.
But the thing is, Empire tickets are like £7.
Yeah.
Right? But Cineworld's tickets are 15 quid, but people obviously subscribe to save money. I'm not quite sure how Empire can sell the tickets cheap unless they are working at a loss to make everything back in concessions. Because the one that we've got is in a shopping centre.
Yeah, that's right.
So I don't know if they work out, whatever they're doing, their figures and how they're making money. But I don't understand how because it's really surprising how little they charge compared to the competitors. But I don't think there's many people, unless you're taking someone out on a date, I don't think there's many people that will pay full price for the cinema. They'll be like, well, yeah, let's go on Wednesday where it's that Meerkat, whatever it is.
Yeah, it used to be Orange Wednesdays.
Yeah, it used to be Orange. Oh yeah, it used to be Orange Wednesdays. Now it's something Tuesdays or whatever. We'll go there. I'll save myself 15 quid there. That's usually date night. I've done it myself, like not in date nights. I've never really been on a date. But what I mean is,
I'll take you on a date.
Yeah, I'd like to. We should go on a quadruple date. No, double date. No, double date, isn't it?
Yeah, double date.
Because otherwise,
dating, that's dogging, I think.
Yeah, I think it is dogging. Flashing headlights. Not that I know how to do that, but yeah, it just seems like cinema experiences aren't. I think, in my personal opinion, I don't think cinema is going to be as relevant in 10 years' time. Because as you just said, you just brought up that big budget movie.
Yeah, and
Netflix.
I think that's but you look at Disney. Disney owns Marvel and Lucasfilm, and they're bringing out their own subscription-based service. So now you've got the distributors of the films, and they've got end-to-end. They don't even have to go to a third party.
No,
I think that's going to be a running trend. I mean, Netflix themselves are making their own films, and there's a lot of collaboration. Even with the new Star Trek, CBS brought out their CBS All Access in America and Canada, and everywhere else got Star Trek on Netflix. So these new and for the consumers, it's fine, it's great, but I think it's going to change. There's going to be cultural significance now about the way people spend their money and whether they decide. I mean, look at Netflix. How much is it? $9.99, $8.99.
There's different tiers. I think it's about £7 if you want standard.
Yeah, and you've got a lot to choose from there, and if you haven't got a lot of money you can spend on going out, then you've got hundreds of different films and TV shows that you can watch. Even Amazon. I'm an Amazon Prime member. I buy a lot from Amazon, which means I get next day delivery in the UK for free. and I get a limited Amazon Music on my phone, which I think is a million tracks, and I get Amazon TV, which has got some good episodes, good TV series and films on it. So
That's right. With Amazon providing services like that, Amazon Prime is especially good for things like the Grand Tour. But as you say, Netflix are doing their own films. There was one that was they're big budget ones as well. I can't remember the other guy in this film, but Will Smith was in a film called Bright, which is fantastic.
yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I really liked it. If you like Shadowrun or any of those, is it Shadow? It's Shadowrun, isn't it? Not Shadowfall.
So, yeah.
Shadowrun, which is sort of like a cyberpunky fantasy game, essentially with orcs and fairies and stuff. Well, that's the closest you're going to get in a film. And
Bright is almost like
brilliant.
modern. If Lord of the Rings actually happened, and then we're in modern day LA,
Yeah,
and the political rubbish had all settled, it's kind of interesting. But I enjoyed that film.
and it focuses on two cops, one's human, one's an orc, and it's really good. I didn't expect much from it, but it's really good. But thing as you say, like with Twitch Prime, you get music, which I don't use. I don't know why. I've got Spotify, but I don't know why I don't use Twitch Music. Prime Video, next day delivery, and now the most recent thing that's come in is Twitch Games. You get Twitch Games free with Prime.
Yeah.
And that's so
Games
PC
consoles
gamers.
are doing it. Subscription seems to be the way, you know.
Well, yeah,
It's
but
all about-
I think it's more like the reason why I'm quite surprised is obviously Xbox and PlayStation, so Microsoft and Sony, they're obviously giving their games a go. They're trying to keep up with the competition. PlayStation did it first. Like Sony said, oh yeah, we'll give you some games for the PlayStation Plus as a kind of, sorry, we're charging you for online now, seeing as we didn't before with PlayStation 3. And then everyone loved it and everyone jumped ship to PlayStation because it's like, oh yeah, we're getting some money, we're getting some content for what we're paying here. Then Microsoft did it, and Sony are owning it at the moment. As we said in the last podcast, Bloodborne 3, get it. But now it surprises me with Twitch, not with Twitch, with Amazon saying, oh yeah, well, let's give some games out. Because Amazon Prime is such a niche service. Well, it's not niche. It's not niche.
You think
That's
it's
not what I
niche?
mean.
I don't think it's
No,
niche at
but
all.
what I mean is it's on its own. I don't know any other website that offers that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I don't know why
There isn't any
Tesco,
competition.
Tesco, a massive supermarket chain here that also has web presence, they could do that. You could have a subscription where you go and get a free item every week or every month from your Tesco store. There's
Well,
no reason why not. It would draw, but it then means if you're paying that subscription, you get bonuses. So you get subscriber-only discounts. You get I don't know, you get free washing powder every 1 month, and you get free DVD the next, whatever it is. It means that if wherever you are, you'll go there first.
yeah,
You'll buy from there first.
that's the same with me. Like, if I need something, the first thing I go to is Amazon because I know that it doesn't matter. I'll get it tomorrow morning. Like with me, I've recently been, as everyone knows me, I've been using a vape, and I didn't realise there were so many websites that did it. But I wanted to buy this one because it looked like a pistol grip. I'd seen it on the internet. I was like, I need it. I didn't go to these vape websites. I went to Amazon first because I was like, oh well, it'll be next day. Now,
Exactly.
having that Prime service, to be honest, I'd pay the extra couple of quid if I'm going to get it next day anyway. These other websites are going to charge delivery. So that was great for Amazon to sort of like crowbar themselves into my personal life. You know, Amazon are my go-to for everything. Like, I tried to find e-juices on there, which you can't find. I'll tell you that now. You can't get them. But that's where I'll go. And it just surprises me that they're going to include free games to make, it kind of makes them seem like even better than they actually already are. You know,
Yeah, definitely. I
admittedly
agree.
they're not as cheap as they could be, but I'm getting Prime. Like, I'm getting next day delivery. You know, I will pay that extra £1 more. And if you don't choose Prime as well, if you order something and you're a Prime subscriber, if you say it's like no hassle delivery or something, or no worries delivery, you get £1 credit on your Amazon account, so you can buy like digital content. I can't remember what it's called, like no rush delivery.
Yeah, it's like no rush. So if you don't want to take advantage of the next day, they obviously save, but they give that back to the subscriber, which is really good.
You get credit or something that's
Yeah,
to use on the store or anything, and I just think that's really good. But thing is, like, subscriptions and bundles and things, they're getting so competitive. But I do think that some of the content is a bit convoluted as well. Like, just before we came on the podcast, we looked up Humble Bundle. Humble Bundle's a big thing for us. We like it. We go for it quite a lot. But I got an email notification just before, and it just went, "Oh, the new bundle's up," and it's the Bob Ross bundle. And you're like, okay, and you open it up, and it's all these different ebooks on how to paint, and you think, okay, well, I sort of get on board, but there's loads of like Stickman games, and loads of weird games that have really interesting art styles, or even some bad art styles, but they've included it with the Bob Ross bundle, even though he is literally famous for being an amazing chilled out painter.
Yeah.
But they include really badly animated games, it's weird, Bob Ross would have been the absolute last thing I would have expected to come out of the Humble Bundle this week.
I think it's just trying to stay relevant at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And they can't stay relevant because they can't be original every month, so they have to kind of do fillers. Because Bob Ross is relevant, but he's almost like a living meme now.
Yeah, he is. He's the king of painting happy trees.
Yeah.
I'm just going to paint a little happy tree right here. Another little happy tree right here. Yeah, it's just weird. It's some of the stuff that's included. The thing is, though, I suppose it has worked because I'm kind of tempted to buy it.
No.
I kind of want to... Well, only the cheap tier, not the big one.
Oh, right.
Because you get like a Bob... It's at like 70p. And you're like, well...
Yeah, but it's
I could kind of
70p
get on
for
board with
tut.
that. Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, I do. Because you don't paint.
Have you got it up on your screen?
No, I'll get it up on my screen. I'll get it up right now.
I was going to say, tell me what's in the first tier of Humble Bundle, and I'll say basically whether I'm going to purchase it or not. Which, now you said it, I'll probably going to be like, nah, actually, that sounds like crap.
Right, so here we go. So, Crayon Physics Deluxe.
No.
No. Draw a Stickman Epic 2. Includes both games plus DLC.
No.
No. Draw Your Game.
No.
No. Bob Ross, The Joy of Painting. Wait for it. Island in the Wilderness. It's season 29. It's one episode. It's not a book.
Oh.
It's a video, right? Kick that. Are you going to buy it?
No.
Right, okay, hang on. The Joy of Painting, Mystic Mountain, right? Season 20. So we're going back 9 seasons, episode 1. No?
Okay, no, I'm going back to my previous point. It's convoluted.
One more. Joy of Painting, A Walk in the Woods. So you've got like a rounded feature of 3 bullshit videos, and that's season 1, episode 1. So that's what you get. It's not worth 70p.
So why? I thought
The
they
only
were
time I buy
ebooks or like
this-
audio books.
The only time I buy this is to gift those 3 videos to someone I don't like.
Wow.
Seriously, it's just crazy. And then tier 2, well, it's just more tut.
Oh no, I thought they were actually like useful.
No, in tier 2, you start getting Bob Ross books. You've
okay. That's what I must have saw.
Yeah, you got ebooks here. Joy of Painting, but it's weird. It's like volume 3, volume 24, and volume 17. Now, for that, you have to pay at least £6.37, and you get a couple of really obscure games. So it's a new from me.
No. What would you rate that Humble Bundle out of 5?
1.
I think I'd rate it 1 now. Now I know that those first ones are episodes and not books.
Yeah, no good. Now the Humble Bundle do subscribing for $12 a month.
Oh yeah,
And
what's the
so you
current
get
one?
Deus Ex: Mankind Divided.
I love the game, but the thing is, it's come out free on everything else at the moment.
Yeah.
And
God
hold
Eater
on,
2.
one sec.
Right.
Deus Ex is so saturated in the market right now that Poundland sell it. Just want to point out, Poundland
Okay.
PS4 and
Right,
Xbox One.
So, God Eater 2, Rage Burst, and Mafia 3.
Mafia 3 is good. It is a good game.
So I'd say, but to be honest, if you've never played any of those games, for the $12, one and done, you only have to sign up for 1 month, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, you can stay any time with that one.
Subscribers get 10% off Humble Store purchases, and 5% of each month's proceeds go to support charities. So it's quite cool. And then you look
Okay.
at January. What they had in January, they had Tomb Raider, Sleeping Dogs, Quantum Break, The Long Dark, Dawn of War 3. Now that alone is worth the $12. Hive Swap, Mr. Shifty, Cursed Castilla,
Yeah.
and Hitchhiker. So, Quantum Break I didn't really rate, but even Tomb Raider and Dawn of
I
War
haven't
3,
played that
it's
yet.
worth it. We go
I
back
don't
to
think I will.
Right, let's go to February. Life is Strange. Tacoma, which I haven't played. Civilization 6, that's pretty cool. Owlboy, which is incredible. Love Owlboy.
Owlboy is on the Twitch Games with Prime this week,
Yeah,
when it starts
really,
on
really
the
cool
16th.
platformer.
No, 15th.
Yeah, and you get a few other bits and pieces I'm not going to mention because kind of obscure. But the point is that even for Civilization 6, Life is Strange and Owlboy, great. And then we go over to March. So March, including what I've just talked about, you got Overgrowth, Lost Castle, Dark Souls 3, great, Splasher. Last Day of June, We're in Space.
I haven't heard of them, but
no, but Dark Souls 3
for that sort of money, I'd give them a shot. Like,
so you've always got probably one game for that subscription, and it's look, we've gone full circle now. It's back into the subscriptions again.
yeah, it's just incredible. Like the Humble Bundle thing is like the Humble Monthly. Even if you don't like the sound of the game, if it's free and in your Steam library and you're bored, I'm pretty sure you double click it to install it just to see what it was like.
We were talking about this, like PS Plus being 40 quid a year, isn't it? 40 quid?
It's 50 now.
50
It's gone
quid
up,
a year. Right. But 50 quid a year, so what does that work out at? 4 quid a month?
Yeah, about that.
So you'd be getting a good selection of games, even if you couldn't afford or didn't want to buy anything else. You'd have a rounded collection of games at the end of the year, enough to enjoy and play, and I think that's really good.
Well, especially with not Dark Souls, Bloodborne this month. It's just fantastic. That is worth like the bang for buck. If you like to play online games.
Oh, it's so depressing for me. I
but it's a game that you should try. If it's free.
No, I have.
Ooh.
I've tried. I played like 5 hours for it. I just needed to cry all the time. Just no, thank you.
No, I love the art style and the sort of sound of it. I'm
Anyway,
no good at it.
Look, we've murdered that now. We want your comments about that because it's the whole retail and subscription and cinema.
I tell you what, if you could do us a favour and leave us comments below, if there's any bundles that we don't know of or should know of, let us know, because obviously we're always on the hunt for bundles. We know like Indie Gala and Humble Bundle, they're the two sort of, I wouldn't say top ones, but if there's any more, even if it's not for PC games, just for any sort of bundles where you think, maybe they would like that, just put them in the comments, let us know. If they're great, we'll shout you out. It'll be brilliant.
And a good website for game bundles is epicbundle.com, because you've got the Humble Bundle, but you've also got other websites on there, and it shows all the different bundles you can get from different websites, and it rates them as well. So it's pretty.
I didn't even know about that. I might check that.
Yeah.
But yeah, other big gaming news. I think the rest of this is pretty much game flavoured. I like flavoured. Flavor Flav. Yeah, the rest of this is sort of game related. Is big announcement this week. Well, I think it was last week actually. And something I'm quite excited about. The Division 2. Who played the Division 1?
Me.
Who loved the Division 1? Who got bored of the Division 1 when they brought in the Dark Zone?
Oh no, I love the Dark Zone.
No, I'm sorry, the Dark Zone is the worst thing that's ever happened to video games other than EA games themselves.
No. It brings the element of not being able to know who you trust. Loved it.
That as a mechanic is fantastic. The way that the Dark Zone worked, though, was... Oh, yeah, all of the good gear is in the Dark Zone. Right? So, you can't go in on your own. If you go in with mates and someone sits there and goes...
I went on my own plenty of times.
Yeah, I went on my own. I've made out of the Dark Zone with one thing. Right, I haven't played it too much, but I went in there with fucking loads. And I put my shit on the helicopter waiting for it to turn off, and I just sat there and camped. Right? And I waited for the seconds to go down, and everyone will just sit around the helicopter. They won't do anything. They won't try and shoot. They won't do anything. They'll just wait until there's a couple of seconds left. Massive firefight. Lost all my shit. And I wasn't even involved in the firefight. But you have to go over to activate it.
That needs some balancing. The problem I have with the Division is the whole massively multiplayer RPG set in the present, it just doesn't work. It's like,
I think-
oh, I've got an epic rifle. It just doesn't work. And then the enemies are standard enemies, you think, and they're just bullet sponges. I remember one boss who had like twin flamethrowers, and I was just going, me and my group were going round and round the level, just knocking slight amount of points off him. It was nuts. It was okay.
That's the same sort of thing you could say with WoW. You know, like how many?
No, but WoW's fantasy, so you can have a giant twin-headed goblin ogre.
Yeah, that's right. But how many times can a giant twin-headed goblin take sword slashes?
It doesn't matter because it's fantasy, so they could take huge amounts and just heal really quickly.
Oh, maybe
That whole
these.
fantasy element, you can suspend disbelief.
The only thing that I didn't like about the Division is it's just set at Christmas. Right, Christmas in New York,
well.
and you're like, okay, you know, this is really cool when it came out, and you're like, yeah, this is really awesome. And then once Christmas is gone, and then you're in summer, and it's still Christmas, and you're like, how long does this fucking go on for?
Well, no, because it kind of, I don't know, it set the tone, didn't it? The winter kind of tone. But
Yeah, but it's just all the time Christmas. You're like, well, just maybe do like Destiny did updates and things, didn't they? Where they kind of changed how it looked.
Started on, yeah, but
No, this is going to be a Destiny free zone because
no. So
I love
the Division-
Destiny. And I love Destiny 2 up to a point, and now it's boring because there's no new content. Even though I need to go back to it, I think I'm due to go back to it, but I don't want to talk about Destiny because that's taken up too much of my life. But I will go back to it at some point. That's all I'm going to say.
You know, the Division, you know, it's a good try, but there's problems with it. The whole New York's fine, but they didn't have enough. They didn't have any real time events. You know, it's city blocks, so you've got to make it interesting. And I don't think they did. I don't think they varied it. And I know it's a city, but then you've got to do something with that. Maybe
There's also
put more Central Park elements in.
It's
I'm
very
not sure.
different to the videos that came out beforehand.
Oh, big
'Cause
time. I mean, that happens a lot, mind you.
I thought Division was going to be this sort of like really dark story, multiplayer, like co-op story about basically the fall of New York to a virus. And I thought this is going to be the best game. I thought it was going to be the spiritual successor to Freedom Fighters. Do you remember Freedom Fighters?
Yeah.
Hands down, one of the best
where
games.
they were hunkered down behind the police cars, and they, you know, but it showed that the game was going to be a lot more skill based than what it was. It was too much dice rolling
And then,
mechanics in the background.
well, as soon as it came out, it's just like, oh yeah, by the way, it's like an MMO. Pardon?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No. And you have to get gear and like roll for gear and it annoyed me. But the thing is, I got caught as usual. Start playing a game. Yeah, this game's shit. 10 hours later, I'm like, yeah, right. I like this game. But yeah, I'm quite excited for the Division 2. It's going to be one of those games that I play probably on release because I didn't play Division 1 on release.
I played it. I played it to death on release.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot of the aspects of it, but I think this time around also I'm going to go on PC because it
Same.
did struggle on PS4 quite a bit. There was a
no.
lot of slowdown I found.
No, I think I'm going to go with PS4 because I think my partner's going to want to play it as well. Because she played
But
with
the
me.
Pro, no, actually, I say that now. I'll probably get PS4 because the Pro's out now.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't
I don't think it
struggle.
should struggle. And I don't mind taking graphical hits as long as it runs smooth. Most of the games now, when you start them up, it's like, oh, do you want high frame rate or high performance? No, high resolution or high frame rate. And you're like,
Which is good. So you've got
okay,
the option
cool.
there.
But I always go performance anyway. The frame rate may be good, but like I
Oh,
played
and the
Knack
other problem with
recently.
Division end game content was shit.
Oh, I didn't even get that far, I don't think.
Terrible.
I got to the max level. I think the max level was 20 when I was playing it. Or was it 25 or something? And it got to the end content, and then you had to have people to play with. And I was like, okay, let's find some people. And all of them had... Because I joined really late. So all of them were all max gear, and they just didn't enjoy the mission and play it for what the story brought to it. It was like, oh, quick, grind this out.
Yeah, but
And I
think that
found
happens
that
with all
most...
games, people did it with WoW. When I first played Vanilla WoW, it wasn't like that. People did actually play for the
Well,
story.
That's it. With MMOs, there is no point putting a story in it.
No,
'Cause-
not at all. But it says here, Ubisoft's calendar in 2018 includes Assassin's Creed Rogue Remastered for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, Far Cry 5, obviously, that looks really good. I'm enjoying that we could play the co-op on that. I think that would be excellent, great fun.
If you want to see it on the channel, let us know. Otherwise, we'll just play offline because I'm more than happy to put it
Yeah.
on.
The Crew 2 is coming between April and October. Skull and Bones, Naval Combat. They haven't said anything about Division 2, so I think they just want to build up a bit of hype before E3. Maybe, hopefully, not release a bullshit demo where it looks or feels nothing like the game that's released. I don't think they're going to make that mistake, and I reckon it will come out either really late 2018 or late-ish 2019 to hit the Christmas markets.
Yeah, I reckon.
So that's my prediction. And I do hope it's good, because the Division world they set up was really good, but there's too much dice rolling. I think they need to stay off that.
Too much random number generating.
Oh, big time, yeah.
And the RNG is a little bit... Sometimes I find the RNG in games is really unforgiving and really not fun.
Yeah.
Do you ever find that? Like,
Yeah.
It kind of breaks my heart. Like, XCOM was a big thing for that, for me. I absolutely adored XCOM, but when you're sitting there firing shots point blank with a 99% hit rate and you keep missing, you're like, you're doing this on purpose. You're literally doing this on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
No, I
it
agree.
becomes not fun, because it's not then random number generator. It's just like, what are the chances?
So that's the Division 2. So what is next on the agenda?
The next thing I'd like to bring up is the amazing, pointless amounts of guest characters coming into games, because that's something that's kind of irked me recently.
See, this will be interesting for me. I don't play a lot of games that have this sort of... I think the Switch, with like Mario Kart, I think is the closest thing, I suppose,
Well,
in terms of guest characters. But
some of them I can understand. Some of them I think is just absolute joke. The ones that
do
I
you
can
think it's a
understand...
marketing ploy, though?
No, I just think it's like, like kind of jump on our backs, like, or can we jump our franchise on yours because you've got stuff that's coming out, and we don't want people to forget. Like,
That's what I'm saying. So it's a marketing ploy from that point of view.
well, yeah, but I just don't think it's worth it. Like, one of the ones that hit me hardest recently is Final Fantasy 15 has just come out on PC, and the crossover for that is Gordon Freeman from Half-Life. Nothing to do with the Final Fantasy franchise. Why?
But I don't think any guest character should be in an RPG game like that, because it's all about suspension of belief and getting involved in the story. So for me, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know why it's a thing. Some of them I can understand, like Monster Hunter. You can play as Monster Hunter in the new Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a Capcom game, right?
Yeah.
They're going to include that. Street Fighter, you can get Monster Hunter costumes. Monster Hunter is the current trend, the current thing at the moment. Okay, put that into your franchise as well. And in Monster Hunter, I read earlier on that you can now control Dante from Devil May Cry. So, another Capcom
Nice.
game. Okay, fair enough. Mortal Kombat is another one, which I would say that I'm not on board with, but I do really enjoy it, because I can understand them having things from their other video games. Like, for instance, in Justice 2, you could play as Sub-Zero or Raiden. That was cool. And in Justice 1, you could play as Scorpion. But then they also had people that were not in their actual universe, but in Warner Brothers themselves. The reason why they put these extra characters in is because they've actually shared comics in the universe at some point. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, everyone was like, what the fuck, why are they there? But there was a Batman and Turtles comic. Official DC. There was a Batman and Hellboy one. It goes on like that. But more
Look at Soul Calibur.
Well, Soul Calibur is another thing. Soul Calibur's got like cross franchise, and that's the bit that I'm not really too hot on, because with Mortal Kombat they had Alien, Predator, Jason, Leatherface, so horror characters. You can understand why. The previous Mortal Kombat game had Freddy Krueger. You can understand. But Tekken, so the Tekken games come out, as everyone knows, Tekken 7, and one of the DLC characters, well, the first one was Geese, and I think he's from King of Fighters. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I think his name's Geese. He's from another, or an SNK game or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but anyway. And that one, you can kind of think, okay, it's a video game character, that works. But now Tekken's new DLC character is Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. And
Right,
you think,
okay.
well, he didn't do much fighting in the game. I haven't played it, so I don't really feel qualified enough to comment on it. But I'm pretty sure in that game it's all fighting with weapons and fighting big monsters and, big things like that. But you kind of bring him into a fighting game, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. Why is he in that game? And that's something that doesn't kind of click with me.
I think it is marketing ploy to create
Well,
awareness for other franchises.
Well, Soul Calibur had Star Wars in it.
Yeah.
You could play Vader and Yoda, or the Force Unleashed guy. I can't remember his name. The guy from Star Wars Force Unleashed. Anyway, he was the one for one of the consoles. And then there was ones where you could play as Spawn.
Wasn't it Link as well?
Yeah, no, it's Link on Nintendo,
Nintendo.
Spawn on something else.
Yeah.
And I don't know, not Assassin's Creed, because that was the other different one. And then they're saying now, as much as I love the game, what everyone is speculating and what CD Projekt Red have accidentally sort of rumoured and confirmed is the guy from Witcher is going to be in Soul Calibur 6.
Okay.
So Geralt from... Which kind of makes sense. He's a character that swings a weapon, but they are not the same company.
No.
I don't know whether it's just like lining pockets, which, okay, if you can make some extra bucks by including your character and, makes you relevant again, then I guess, but I'm a big fan of atmosphere. If I'm going to play a game, I want to be sold into that universe, and I don't want to sit there and play a game and then all of a sudden something else from another universe jumps in. Another good thing is my partner was playing Assassin's Creed Origins recently, which is Ubisoft, and she did a quest and then all of a sudden she got a chocobo, some shield and the Ultima sword, and you're like, and I didn't believe it at first. I was like, no, that's just got to be something similar, but it's not. No, this is a mount that was once used for racing, and it's a chocobo. And you're like, okay, looked it up. Yes, Final Fantasy, Assassin's Creed crossover. It's just too many. I don't know what game I'm playing anymore. I sit there and I'm playing, just a random character comes up. Oh, I must be playing this.
To be honest, I don't agree completely. I think it's fine in some genres of games where the Mario Kart's a prime example. The story is not relevant. There is no story. So I think it depends on the game. But RPGs is a no-no.
Well, the thing is, Mario Kart is not really... I don't think that's a bad crossover, because they don't bring people like... It's tough to explain. It's like if they brought Bayonetta into Mario Kart, then it would be weird.
No, I don't think so, because Link is weird enough if you'd say it like that.
No, but Link is an original Nintendo character. That's
true, but the whole Mario idea is weird anyway. Like, when I played Mario plus Rabbids, that was a great game.
That's weird.
Really, when you look at it, it's weird. But the game's great because the story is in a fantastical world, and Nintendo have always had weird and wonderful worlds. You've got two plumbers in this weird kingdom searching for a princess who's been stolen by a dragon.
Mm.
And when you put it into perspective, it doesn't matter because it's already ridiculous.
Yeah.
When a game is trying to create a valid world, and then they put something that is completely and utterly ridiculous within that world, then it invalidates everything they're trying to create.
Because when you play in a game, I always see myself as the actual person that you're playing. That's how you should play video games, in my opinion. Like, you play as yourself. That's your life that you're leading at that point in time. And when you start referencing other games, is it ruining the atmosphere, or is it just trying to break the fourth wall of you trying to make you remember previous experiences that you've had?
Well, I think it depends on the game again.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Bayonetta is going to be, I think was already in Super Smash Brothers, and it's
but Super Smash Brothers, you're not putting yourself into that game world, are
No.
you?
But what I mean is that's another franchise that's crossed over.
Yeah.
That's not Nintendo's IP. Or not their person's IP.
What's the game by Gearbox? The first-person shooter, and they remastered it recently.
What, Borderlands?
No. They made Gears of War series, and they did a first-person shooter.
Bulletstorm,
right? The
Bulletstorm?
remastered version, which I've got, is you can play as Duke Nukem through the whole story, and John St. John does all the new lines.
John St. John, who's that?
He is Duke Nukem's voice.
Oh, nice.
So he does all the lines right, and it's fine. but it doesn't make sense in that game because you're playing a story.
Yeah, you do bring up a good point there.
And he even breaks the fourth wall by saying, "Well, I shouldn't even be in this game."
Yeah, I do get that. I do understand that. I think it ruins the atmosphere for me. That's just me on a personal level. If I start playing a game and then something else comes up, then it takes it away from the actual game itself.
Right. So hang on a second. If I go through my Steam library, let's just quickly look. Right. So something like BioShock series, it'd be terrible if they put a bonus character in. It wouldn't, because the story's so important.
Yeah.
Same with Dishonored. You know, and I look at my games, a lot of them are based around story-driven games.
Mm.
But then you've got something like, I don't know, let's have a look. There's games in here that I really wouldn't give a shit if they turned around and, you know, added something from a different world. And I can't really find any in here, actually. I tell you what, a game. Get Out of Hell. What's it called?
Saints Row.
Saints Row. Who cares? It's nuts already. I think if you've already got a ridiculous themed game, then who cares?
I think, but like with Agents of Mayhem, which was the spiritual successor, you could play as Johnny Gat from Saints Row. I understand that. They're the developers of Saints Row. Why wouldn't they put their old characters in? I feel like it's clutching at straws to me when people are like, "Oh no, let's just include that character because that's popular." Like Tekken including Noctis from Final Fantasy 15. Why? What relevance has Final Fantasy 15 got to Tekken?
No, and it hasn't. But then again, you've got a guy in Tekken with a tiger head, King.
Oh no, it's not about the realism on that.
Well, no, this is where I disagree. So if there's a game that's narrative driven, that's creating a world, then I've got a problem with it. If it's a fighting game like that, I'm not talking about something like Injustice, but when you got Tekken or even Mortal Kombat, to a point, I really couldn't care.
No, I don't have a problem with guest characters. I have a problem with the choice of them. Like guest characters. So as I said, like include Capcom including their own IP, fine, and then the sort of Witcher being included in Soul Calibur, I can sort of see it, even though it's not their IP. But Noctis, they're not even the same.
Though, isn't he?
Yeah, but you could have Mario in fucking Tekken, couldn't you?
No, but then that'd be weird. Because at least the character from Final Fantasy is a human. That isn't a cartoon.
I found it weird playing Super Mario Galaxy and an actual human being in it.
Oh, Odyssey.
Yeah, what did I say?
Galaxy.
Oh, sorry, Odyssey. And there's a human with a broken down car. And I was like, this is weird. Don't like this. It's too much for crossover. You know, I don't.
You see that, but that's the thing, isn't it? So
even in a fantasy world, that kind of ruined the immersion for me.
Oh no, it'd be like if Mario was the Doom guy, right? That would be wrong because of the type of games and the culture that Mario comes from. But then if you had someone like, I don't know, BJ Blazkowicz out of Wolfenstein, okay, they're both the same IP, but he's in that same genre.
Yeah.
So for me, the suspension of disbelief isn't that difficult. Like I could see Link in The Witcher a lot easier than I could see Link technically in Mario Kart. Because Mario Kart's full of these weird, wonderful, crazy characters from the Mario universe, which in of itself are these little dumpy cartoon characters, whereas a lot of Zelda games try to add the realism to it. So that's where I kind of disagree. I can understand what you're saying, but I don't think it's as much of it. It's when they're really trying to create a world, or if they had a guest appearance in something like Skyrim, it'd be weird.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, why? I'm just glad that they haven't yet. Well, not that I know of, anyway.
But then got a game
I don't include like Easter eggs either. No. I don't include that. I welcome them.
you know, you look at something like, I don't know, a Borderlands series.
I was
If
just
they
about to
had a
bring that.
guest character,
There
it
was-
doesn't take itself seriously, so it wouldn't bother me as much.
There's a part in Borderlands 2 where you can go into some cave and you can shoot a green box and it explodes like a creeper from Minecraft, and you get a Minecraft head out of it. But that's
Yeah,
an
there you
Easter
go.
egg. It's not part of the
Yeah.
campaign, so you can kind of think, oh, that's a nice little reference. That's pretty cool. But I just find that bringing that Noctis guy into Tekken, you just like, that's like bringing Mario into Tekken to me. They're not.
Oh, that surprises me.
I just don't get on with it. It's just one of those things. I am going to move on though to another thing that annoys me, and that's Galgun 2. Do you know what Galgun is, Ali?
No.
Galgun is a rail shooter, right? We all know how much I love rail shooters, and so do you. Are you looking it up now?
Yep.
I wouldn't.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. I do know about this. I didn't.
Yeah.
We looked at this when we were together playing something, and yeah.
Basically, if you don't know what Galgun is a on-the-rail shooter, which is I'm a massive fan of, like the genre. Like light gun games, should we say? Except in this one, you play someone who's I don't know, I haven't played
Can
it
I read
myself.
the story? Can I read the story?
Yeah. Do it.
Right. As a regular academy student, your day begins like any other. Until that is, you notice a strange app on your phone that you don't remember installing. The moment you click on the unfamiliar icon, a box appears on your desk containing an odd pair of goggles and what appears to be a bizarre handheld vacuum cleaner called the Demon Sweeper. Ooh.
Is this 1 or 2?
Just says Galgun here.
Okay, yeah, carry on.
It might be 2, I don't know, but it's still ridiculous. So,
You've been chosen to help me fight demons.
exclaims the angel who appears when you equip the goggles, or googles as it says on here. I think it's I think it's a misprint. And so begins a wild 30-day adventure to help rid your academy of the mischievous demon Karuna, who's up to no good once again. Wow, sorry that's
Galgun.
2.
That's
That's Galgun 2.
so that's number 2. So I'm not interested. The first one, however, do you want to find the story for the first one, or do you want me to take it away?
No, go for it. Go for
Basically, the first one is I'm pretty sure that you get shot by Cupid's arrow, and then every female in the school decides that they want a piece of you sexually, and you have to fend them off by shooting ecstasy or love at their face and genitals and erogenous areas to bring them to ecstasy so they leave you alone. It's ridiculous. It's one of those Japanese games, but it's now been funded for a sequel, and that really annoys me.
it. Right, so you basically got to make them climax so that they're not... Right, okay.
So they basically stop chasing you. But the thing that winds me up the most is not that Galgun exists. It's not that there's really a sequel. That's not like the major thing that pisses me off. It's more of the fact that if they can make Galgun on the PS4, why the fuck has Time Crisis not arrived yet? Time Crisis 5.
Because
am-
money talks.
I am honestly disgusted that there is the only rail shooter
Galgun
other than Galgun is that
creepy
Blue
anime
Estate.
bullshit.
Yeah, Blue Estate was good, but it's the only one that I know of, right? And I've been looking for them for quite a long time. But this is the one that survives. This is the one that prospers in the PS4 land. No. Hashtag, where's Time Crisis 5?
There's no demand for it.
That's a lie, right? I'm sorry, that's a lie.
Okay, there's not enough of a demand for it.
Maybe there's not enough of a demand, but rail shooters are my thing. I love them.
I think it's
I
a
don't-
dying genre in the home, you know.
Well,
so
recently bought a Nintendo Switch, a year late after it's come out, but we finally got one. And the potential to have them on that machine is unreal. Like,
yeah.
Nintendo did it with the Wii. They didn't really do much with the Wii U that I remember. There wasn't really much rail shooters, if any, on the Wii U. It was just a lackluster amount of first-party titles. But on the Switch, the right Joy-Con, I can't remember what colour it is, or anyway, the right one. I don't know if the left one does it, but only the right one I've noticed. You can move it, and for instance, in Mario Odyssey, you can look around. There's some games like World of Goo, where you have a target on it, just like a Wii remote, but you don't have a sensor bar anymore. So you have just the motion controls, but you can use that. You can bring House of the Dead on there. You can bring all these other rail shooters. And to bring that on the go, that's literally one of the greatest things that I could think of. If I'm sitting on a bus or on a train and I'm like, oh, I'm really bored and there's no one around me, all right, just going to slam House of the Dead on and just start playing a light gun game on the train. Honestly, beautiful. Switch, Nintendo, you need to do that. You need to bring all of the rail shooters. Like, I can't remember what they're bloody called. Oh, there was a really good one that came out on Nintendo
I reckon they'll
Wii.
bring out gallery shooters first.
No.
Like point blank. I reckon it'll be point blank. Stuff like that.
That'll
If
be
they're gonna
part
bring out
of
anything.
1-2 Switch or something.
Yeah.
Thing is, that's the closest console that's got the potential to do it, in my opinion. Right? The Switch, I never realised how much fun the Switch actually is.
Yeah,
like,
that's what it's all about, definitely.
No, we bought it on Saturday, I think it was. And we only got 3 games, because we bought Sonic Mania, which is fantastic, I might add. Even though, very hard. Much harder than I remember. So there's obviously a difficulty curve from, obviously, the originals and the remake. But I got Mario Kart and Odyssey, and I'm having a great time. I've been more enthralled by these games than I have with most of the AAA titles that I've been playing recently.
Oh, Mario Kart, me and my girlfriend, it's something we always play together, and we've put a lot of hours in. It's great fun. It's timeless.
It's like what we'll have to do is you'll have to come round, or I'll go round yours, and we'll bring the Switch, and we'll just do it. You can have 2 on the TV, or 2 on your Switch, 2 on my Switch. That'd be great.
Yeah.
4-player, and that's the sort of thing that Nintendo have brought to the table. They realise that they can't keep up with Microsoft and Sony with the home consoles. So
But it's not about graphical power anymore either, because graphical power is all well and good.
But I think what they've realised, they've sat there and goes, there's already 2 big boys on the market, let's do something different.
Well, gameplay's king.
Oh yeah, but I'm having so much fun on the Switch. I don't think it's because it's a new console for me either. I think the Switch has got some genuine good gameplay in there. Like this,
Of course it has. Yeah,
like,
definitely.
playing Mario Odyssey, I know it's been around for ages. I don't need to be told about it, right? But I've been sitting there running around as Mario, but then to throw your hat, obviously you could press the button, or you could flick your arm. That's cool, right? I did some
they did
fishing.
that in Galaxy.
No, I know they did, but I was fishing for some. I was trying to get a moon, and I was controlling those turtles on a cloud. I don't know what they're called, and you had to fish to try and get more power moons, and I thought, that's bloody good, isn't it? They're really bringing gaming into my world instead of me always being in theirs.
Yeah.
And Nintendo have always done that. Like, PlayStation VR is the closest thing, and as much as I love PlayStation VR, and I always love VR after the experiences that I've had, I do think that it being such a small unit, small console, and just being able to sit there and just go out like, yeah, alright, here's a controller, whoop me at Mario Kart, let's do it. Oh, I'm just going to put it back in my bag. That's brilliant. And I think if anything can happen in regards to rail shooters, it would be on the Switch. 2-player rail shooters, have a Joy-Con, let's go through House of the Dead while we're waiting. And that's just, that's fantastic for me. That's bringing light gun games to the Switch. If they do it, that's bringing rail shooters to the Switch without all the bullshit hardware that was behind it. So I didn't have to have a CRT TV, and I didn't have to have the specific cable, so the gun could go in, and it's all wired. You know, it's eliminating the cables, and I just think that's good. I think that's good in my opinion.
It's convenient, quick play. Definitely.
Another thing for the Switch is, I don't know if you've seen the new Super Smash Brothers trailer.
Oh, I'm not interested in Super Smash.
Neither am I, but that trailer is something special. It's really creepy.
I thought you'd be interested in it just because it is a brawler.
I do love brawlers, but there's something about that sort of format that I just don't get.
Right.
Like, I like the side-scrolling things like Streets of Rage, Final Fight, things like that, Sunset Riders. I love that sort of thing. But with Super Smash Brothers, because it's sort of an arena one, and it works on percentages on how beaten up you are, and then certain attacks will make you fly off the screen. I agree that it's an original idea and it's cool. Well, not original idea. It was when it first came out, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And people loved it, and I can appreciate it, but it's just not for me. But the trailer was really good, really good. But the Splatoon, like, if you haven't seen it, it's the Splatoon people running around fighting each other, spraying paint on each other, and they're just going around, and it's really well animated. And then the guy Splatoon person goes into his ink. If you know what Splatoon is, basically they're squids and they go in and anyway. But the blue one turns into a squid, goes in his ink, and then the girl is running, and then it all turns dark, like really creepily. And then she like looks round and she looks really scared, and in her eye you can kind of see fire. And then as it kind of focuses in, it's the Smash Brothers logo, and then it goes into the Smash Brothers logo, and it's like it's like the Eye of Sauron from Lord of the Rings, and it's massive, and you can see all the characters just kind of laid at the bottom, and it really gears you up. Like, I'm not even into that game, but I'm like, wow, I need me some Smash Brothers action. Like, I need to give this one a go. But that's what marketing does. Like, it's.
Oh yeah,
definitely. It was great. It was just one of those things where you think, well, actually, I'm kind of into that. But no doubt, I'll probably get it and then
I played lots of Smash Brothers on the N64, and it doesn't matter how much they update it. I just know the core game is not for me. As a party game, might be able to get away with it.
I find party games, maybe I'm just hanging around with the wrong people. Well, to be honest, I don't hang around with many people other than you now, but when, like, I have friends, but I wouldn't say I have friends that I game with, if that makes sense. Like, in a couch co-op, other than you, Ali.
Yeah.
I wouldn't invite people around my house and be like, yeah, let's play some fucking Mario Kart or anything. That's pretty much just you.
All right. I'll give you an idea of it then. Back when I was younger, Fusion Frenzy on the Xbox, remember
loved
that?
Loved it.
Right. Me and my friends turned it into Tequila Frenzy. And it's pretty simple premise. It was Fusion Frenzy, but whoever became first and last had to down a shot of tequila.
Nice.
And we used to play it before we went out, and it was just a little twist to the game. But games like that, and I'm not saying get and drink, but these party games, they're fine if you can play them often enough.
Yeah.
And I think Smash Brothers for me was very much like that. It was a game where you'd all sit around and play in that setting. But you need 4 of you. It wouldn't be...
Yeah, it's not a two-player game. No, definitely not. I've never really had that sort of co-op experience. No, not co-op, like competitive experience with people, because I feel that people can't take it. Like, they can't take... I've played against people that, like, when I've played against people at work that have basically gone, like, especially when I was in the old store, they're like, yeah, one of the operations managers came down. Not the operations manager, one of the other managers from another store came down, and he started bigging himself up, saying he's one of the greatest Street Fighter players ever. And, you know, he's just like, all right, like that. And he's like, yeah, I'll whoop you. And I was like, oh, that's all right. Well, I've got a PlayStation to test. Let's play it. And we played a best of 3 games, 2 rounds each. I whooped him 2-0. And then he just walked off.
Ooh,
it wasn't just like, it wasn't, oh, you bested me on that one. He just walked off as if he was pissed off. And I wasn't sitting there goading him on, being like, nah, I'll beat you. I was like, oh, do you fancy games? Do you fancy games? Like, yeah, I'll whip you. The normal stuff. And I'd done him 2 games to nothing. And he just threw the controller down and walked off. And I was like, okay, like, have I overstepped the boundary here?
No. I think, but that happens in life.
People don't get it. I was on a store build one time. There's this guy, basically, he sees himself as the company's Street Fighter player.
Oh, like the representative.
He reckons he's the representative. And well, I'm not going to name names, so basically, long story short, he was playing it, started going on, and someone brought him their old SNES with Street Fighter 2. And this guy was whooping him. And he was getting so shit, he was getting pissed at the fact that this guy has just annihilated him.
Right.
When he's supposed to be an esports player for the company. Because the company that I work for, as you all know, as I said before, they have esports teams, which I think is really cool for a company. I think in 2015, CEX won the CSGO British Championships. Like, that's how good they are.
Right, yeah, okay.
You know, I can't remember what event it was at. But it was a championship for something, and it was all a couple of guys from the store, like from a store. And there's a Street Fighter one, and there's all these other things. And this guy is just... The point I'm trying to get at is people don't see competitive games anymore as a bit of fun. Like, I can't sit there and go, oh, do you fancy a fight on this? and then I've still got the risk that that's not going to be amicable at the end of it. Because if I do beat them, if I do actually, try my best and beat them, if I lose, I'm the first one to sit there and go, that's a great guy. People know that I play fighting games a lot. But if I lose, I lose. And to me, it doesn't matter. If I lost, I was bested, right? And I will learn from that. Even though it's like a social standpoint, I don't play competitions. But if I lost, I lost. But if I beat someone that's been talking themselves up, it just turns into a game of pride. And you're like, oh, piss off.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never really been around people that can take that sort of competition. Like, I've never been around like-minded people other than you. Like, me and you play fighting games all the time when we're playing all the retro stuff. Whoever wins, wins. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, it is just a game. It's
just a game, and it's a bit of fun, and I really enjoy it. But I don't have any other people that I can sit there and think, yeah, I'd really like to start playing some games co-op with them. Not co-op, like competitive, like, oh, do you fancy a game on Mortal Kombat? Do you fancy this? Because then it always goes to like, oh, shit game anyway. No, it bloody isn't. Just fuck off.
But that happens if people are playing pool, if they're playing darts.
It's anything.
It's not just games.
I feel like that people don't try their best now in case they're going to upset the other person. And that just completely takes away from the actual thing that you're doing. If you're not going to try your best, there is no chance for improvement. There is no sense of competition.
I'd rather play someone and actually be beaten.
Yeah. I've got no problems with being beaten, other than if it's online by a 13-year-old. That annoys me.
Who then shouts
because they don't shut up. If they sit there and go, good game, whether they're 13 or not, if they go, good game, I'll be like, good game, mate. You done well. You done well. I appreciate that. But they're sitting going, yeah, as I said, I've said to you before, I've learned so much about my mother and grandmother from 13-year-old kids on the internet that it's actually quite painful.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I've learned so much about their history. Yeah, but I've digressed loads, and I'm sorry, but it's Super Smash Brothers. That's not a game that I think I'll be interested in purely because of that. Because I don't think there's any people other than you, and you're not particularly interested in it. So
no, it's not something I'd invest money in.
Yeah, so it doesn't bother me. I just punch the table. I apologise about that if you've got some wobbly camera, but got like a few more Switch points that I'd like to bring through. We'll go through them quickly. Apparently, the Switch firmware 5 has come through.
Yeah, disappointment.
And I've read up about the Switch firmware recently because obviously having one, I wanted to see what happens. I'm a big fan of patch notes, and I want to know what they've done with all the things. I'm one of those nerds. I want to know what happens with the firmware. I don't just sit there and go, oh, it's all right. But this one is to bring Facebook and social media into the Switch. To me, I think that's a redundant feature, and I don't think anyone should have that on their games consoles. It's why put Facebook on there? If they want to share it, that's why you add them on that platform. Why put it on social media? But
I think also people that play games together normally, well, maybe not in America actually, so it may be completely invalid what I'm saying, but the people I play games with, I see physically. There's people on Facebook that I'd never want to share my game account with. I wouldn't want to talk to them or play games.
Well, I don't.
In America, I guess it's different, and maybe Australia, places like that, where geographically you've got friends, over hundreds of miles, but you know them. You've got other ways to, play those games. And if they've got a Switch, they're probably going to tell you about it. It's not like, oh, you discovered this person's got a Switch, when it's actually not your friends, but it's their 9-year-old sons. And it's just linked to that account. No, I'm not interested in that at all.
Well, it's some people on Facebook, they add like their family, like their mums or grands or something. That's perfectly fine for Facebook. Facebook has a purpose, and I agree that Facebook is, well, to me, it's a waste of time. But some people use it as a normal, regular method of contact. Why would people want to link the Switch? So all of a sudden, your mum, your gran, your family, or any people that you don't care about, just to the point as you said. All of a sudden it comes up, oh, this person's done this on their video game. Great. That's not something that needs to be shared on social media. If you want to share something, you share it either on the platforms, or something like Twitter is okay, because obviously there's communities of people you don't know. But I don't think this Switch update has Twitter. I don't think it does.
It's Twitter and Facebook, it said.
I only
Yeah,
saw
but-
Facebook, and I was like, why just Facebook? If
but
it's
I
Twitter as
think-
well, then cool. But Facebook, no.
I just think as a 5.0 update, they should have done this at 4.99 or something. It's because I'm used to big updates being big
Well,
updates.
I find them putting social media updates before cloud saving or being able to transfer save games between standard memory and memory cards so then you can use it in another Switch.
Oh, that was a
I think
massive mistake for me when I had
That's
to.
a big thing because
Yeah.
I'm a little worried that if our Switch breaks,
Yeah.
fair enough, I've got a warranty and everything, but all of our game progress is going to go because I can't just move it to the SD card or have
No,
it
you
saved on the
can't.
SD card and then go new Switch, cool, put it in.
When I
or,
had Joy-Con problems, my Switch under warranty where I could return either the Joy-Cons or the console, and I had to go to our local game, which I suppose is like GameStop in the US, and it took me an hour. I had to pair each Switch console up to a local Wi-Fi, which was spotty at best. Then I had to do a series of commands on each Switch to be able to transfer my user account across. You couldn't copy it. You couldn't load it up on a memory card. You had to literally live transfer it over each console.
which I think is a bit of
Utter
a ball ache.
nightmare.
Did you keep your save games?
Yes.
Oh, it does
Yes.
transfer it with save games.
Yes.
But why can't they just either use a cloud service or just put it on your memory card?
No, I think
No.
cloud should be the way. I don't think Nintendo's got the infrastructure for it.
Fair enough. Just give us the option to save it on the memory card.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
But yeah, crazy. It was absolutely crazy. It took a long time, and it was really weird the way they did it. It was like using infrared connection to copy two things between two phones or something stupid. It was so slow.
Old school style.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah-
I've got the update notes here, so I'll just
Yeah.
go through them. So it is Facebook and Twitter friends that
Twitter.
also use Nintendo Switch can now be added through the friend suggestions. It's fine.
Okay.
There's more about friend suggestions. It's fine. Select from 24 new ARMS and Kirby series icons for your user.
Cool. I can
Now-
see where that would be relevant and people would enjoy that, but I don't
One
think
that
it's a
I like
5.
here is digital software purchases made from PC or smart device will download sooner than previously, even if the Nintendo Switch console is in sleep mode. So that's quite nice, especially if you've got a slow connection. So if you see a game you like and you can purchase it, then it will start downloading straight away. So if you're at work, say, and you're on your lunch break, it means you can buy it and you know that it's going to be downloading before you
Downloaded
get
and
home.
ready when you get home. That is
Yeah.
good, but little
Um,
late, but
Parental controls, they've updated that, which I think is good because the Switch is very hybrid in terms of its user base. Captured video, more restrictions, parental restrictions on that, which is fine. Using the Nintendo Switch parental controls app to add specific software titles to your whitelist. And they're also adding time limit restrictions. So it's a lot, it's to do with this parental control. Which is fine. You receive a notification when pre-purchase software is ready to play. Fine. And Nintendo Switch Pro controller grip colors will now display in your controller's menu.
how
so
would they
I've-
know? There must be a little NFC tag or something in it.
No, it'll be in the software of the controller.
Well,
The controllers aren't dumb anymore, so I suppose if you've got a special edition, or I've got the Splatoon one, it should come up with the yellow and the pink.
I'm got a Pro controller. I read a video where people are using all the other ones like PS4 pads and old N64 things with the adapters.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna look into that.
Yeah, what you can do is you can get this is really nice retro controller they do online, and it looks like what's it look like?
The battle
It
pad.
looks like a NES controller
Oh no.
in terms of the button layout, but it's got the button layout of a Wii controller, not the Pro, the little one with the two.
Oh, is it?
So
I
you've
know
got
what you
SNES. It looks like a NES in terms of the graphics. It's shaped like a SNES with two analog sticks, and it's also got the shoulder buttons and the triggers. That can be used
Classic
via
controller.
Bluetooth. Yeah. So it's kind of a hybrid. I will show you what it looks like.
But yeah, for controller wise, I don't think I'm going to get a Pro until I can realise that it's going to cost more for me to buy the cables to get my PlayStation 4 controller to work. Like, because apparently the Pro controller is about 70 quid. Too much for a pad. I know you got yours on a sale. I'd probably pay that purely because they're 70 quid. But I wouldn't pay £70 for a controller. And that's coming from someone that's got an Elite pad. Oh yeah, no, they're cool.
That sort of thing. So they look like a SNES controller, but they've got the 2 analog sticks, they've got the extras, they've got all the buttons of the Switch.
I wonder if I can bring this up on the stream by doing something cheeky here.
You can do studio mode.
Now, I haven't set it up. Right, this might work, this might not. Hold on. I'm going to put it over your window.
It's over to me.
Oh. Sorry about this. Hey, there you go. You can see it right there. But apparently, according to that, the price is £53.05.
I didn't find the cheapest one. There might be better prices, but it's got all the Switch buttons. You've also got USB-C, Type-C, which the Switch uses, which is really cool for charging. Nice little gamepads, to be honest.
It's another thing with Switch games as well. The South Park's coming as well, so it's going to get more adult games on the Switch, which I think South Park is a good addition. Dark Souls is coming out soon as well with an amiibo. There's going to be a Dark Souls amiibo.
That controller for 28 quid.
I'd pay 28 quid for that. Quid. That's wicked.
28, yeah, 28, 30, yeah, between, yeah. So yeah,
I'm up for that.
30 quid including delivery, which is pretty cool.
But yeah, as I was saying, get Dark Souls is coming out for the Switch with its own amiibo.
Oh,
Believe it or not.
Amiibo.
Yeah,
nice.
It's called Praise the Sun. It looks ridiculous, but it's cool. It's one of the emotes, I think.
Yeah.
Where it's basically you have it like that. It's
right.
this knight that's doing that pose. And Dark Souls is something that I got so infuriated with. I don't know, even though I quite like the look of Bloodborne and the look of the games, I don't know the relevance of that Praise the Sun to Dark Souls. I'm pretty sure it's an emote. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me down there. But I think it's quite an interesting thing to have an amiibo for Dark Souls, and it's going to be one that I buy because I like the look of it, and I think that's going to be cool. I think the Switch does need more adult games.
They got Doom. They got Wolfenstein 2. It's going to be released.
Yeah, Bayonetta. Now South Park. But what I mean is they're on the right track now. They're doing well because I'm quite happy with. Like I would want to play the Switch for games that interest me. I don't have kids, so I like it how they're going to all markets, and as far as I can see, that's the best thing. Is that an Amazon link?
Yeah.
So the Amazon link, $39.90.
Yeah, and it's a Bluetooth gamepad, so it will work with. I've got them up on the website here. It works with Windows, Android, Mac OS, obviously Steam, Raspberry Pi, and the Switch.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool.
So is it Bluetooth?
It's also good. Yeah, it's Bluetooth. Yeah.
I've got a lot of Bluetooth controllers. I'm going to try them out on the Switch later on.
And I think, something like this is pretty cool, that if you go around someone's that's got a Switch and you enjoy playing a lot and you've got a Switch yourself, it's something you can pack away in your bag and bring with you.
Yeah, that is something that I would definitely be into. Oh, it's got a retro receiver as well.
Yeah.
So you can plug it in old SNES.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if that would work with a SNES because it's digital.
But
yeah, I think that's cool.
All the it's just great. Really nice. That's a controller I'd like to get next, I think.
Yeah, that's definitely worth one to look into. Other quick little news: Days Gone has been delayed again. So I don't know.
Days Gone forever.
Yeah, I reckon it's the end of the line. I think they've run out of funding. Personally, I don't know that for sure, but it's just one of those things where I think a day's a number. It's been rumored and going along for a long time now. They've been like, this magical game that's really violent and really cool has been in development. It's coming out soon. And then eventually people are just going to forget about it. Like, personally, I think it's like Sea of Thieves. They released a great looking controller and it really is a thing of beauty. I'm not interested in the game, but I think it's because people were losing, they were kind of losing momentum.
Yeah.
Like, I saw Sea of Thieves and thought, oh, I'll probably give it a shot, and then nothing was said for so long, I forgot about it. It happens.
Yeah.
There's so much on the market, you just forget about it. You think, all right, and then all of a sudden they release a controller. Like, oh, yeah, now I'll start thinking about it again. But I think Days Gone, they've got nothing like that. They're just, I think probably they've said, oh, it's been delayed again. They've probably said that because people have already forgotten about it. Like, I wonder how many people have gone, oh, Days Gone has been delayed again, and people are like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. You know, I wonder how many people. I think it's gonna be a lot. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the old new game releases. There's one on here that I didn't even realise was coming out, or I think I did, but I forgot about it, and now I'm like, I need it. And it's Burnout Paradise Remastered, comes out on the 16th, which is Friday. Now,
Yeah,
Burnout.
I played Burnout Paradise to death.
Oh,
I don't
same.
know if I'd buy it remastered though.
Well, I've got it on Xbox One, but I don't really play the Xbox One anymore, and that's... The thing is, though, if it was on Switch, I probably would buy it, because I need some games for the Switch.
Yeah, it'd be a good game for the Switch, actually.
Apparently,
Especially with split screen support. That's
yeah,
split screen.
definitely. I used to like Crash Mode on Burnout, that was wicked. Apparently, Warhammer Vermintide 2 is the best co-op game since Left 4 Dead. Which
I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah, which is something that I'm really interested to try out now, considering it's still on offer everywhere.
$22.99 from Humble.
Yeah, that's something special. I'm interested in that. Fear Effect Sedna has come out. I used to love the old Fear Effect games. This one is like a isometric one now. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not like Resident Evil Viewpoint. Still got the instant deaths and stuff. So that's still something that's that interests me. Apparently today, which obviously it's not going to be today when you watch this because this is recorded on a different day. The Devil May Cry HD collection came out.
Oh, and
on
Devil May
PS4.
Cry HD is going free on Origin. I just downloaded it
Yeah,
on the
so
Origin app.
it's pretty cool, I guess, but nothing major. PC, nothing to report. Switch, Guild Battle Arena, no. Scribblenauts, nah.
Until we get to the summer, I think it's going to be slow.
Yeah, 3DS, Kirby Battle Royale. I do like a good Kirby game, but that came out in January. But it's kind of showing
Royale,
that.
though. Now the Kirby game for the Switch that's coming out at some point, that looks very good.
Yeah.
The first Kirby game I played was on the Game Boy.
That was
Kirby's Dream Land. Bloody brilliant. The fact you could suck people in and kill them. It's so good. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed that.
I used to like the one where you had to draw the rainbow things on it.
Yeah.
Rainbow tracks. I played one on the 3DS not that long ago. It wasn't. I don't know if it was Battle Royale. I don't think it was, but it was just a really well-made A-class game. It was just really nice. And on mobile networks, The Sims Mobile has come out apparently on iPhones.
Oh, Jesus, my other half will be getting that then, I think.
Yeah, that came out March 7th. Tekken Mobile,
Let me guess,
load of crap.
Freemium.
Yeah, of course it is. Tekken was one that I was really interested in, and then I downloaded it and realised it was a bunch of shite. It's not Tekken. It's just, what can I say? It's just not Tekken.
No.
It's one of those ones where you think, I suppose I can like throw a couple of minutes into it, and then even at work when I didn't really have much to do, I got bored of it after a while. I was like, nah, and just uninstalled it. So it's pretty dry on the old releases for me, though. I don't know if you're interested in any of them, but Burnout maybe.
There's a new survival shooter coming out called Scavengers,
Right.
and it's using improbable simulation tech. It's
Improbable. How do you mean?
no, the company's called Improbable, but it uses what's called Spatial OS, and it mixes human players and AI players. But these AI players are intelligent players. So
not like Titanfall then, because
How do you
Titanfall
mean?
did that,
yeah, no,
but not
it's-
to the
it's
same standard.
different.
You had the human players, but then you had like the AI ones that used to follow them, and just it's basically so the crap players felt like they were getting kills as well.
No, this is different. It's coming out from Studio Midwinter Entertainment, and that was set up last couple of years ago by 343 Industries, who are now continuing the
Halo franchise.
Halo franchise. So it's going to run on Improbable Spatial OS platform, and it's all about the players that aren't human feeling like human players. So it's going to be a blend of PvP and PvE.
Sounds like something I'll probably get into though.
And it uses, I'll quote it here, using spatial OS's capabilities for complex AI and persistent simulations. They hope to develop their previous work on a larger scale. The world that players will explore is consistently changing around them based on these complex interactions between different factions and engaging with any of those factions, also with other players in the world. So yeah, that I'm looking forward to. I think that's going to be a really interesting game.
When is that? Has that just been released, or is that something that's coming out soon?
No. It's coming out. It is coming out. Probably next year, I think. But it's just the fact that it's going to be a bit like Elite Dangerous, I suppose, where the AI will look at things you've done, and the persistent world the status quo will change. You know how in Elite Dangerous, if you get big enough, your character will become law.
Yeah.
It takes that onto a whole new level, where everyone in it can influence everything. So it's not like World of Warcraft, where everyone has the same world and the status quo is all the same. You could have a player that completely fucks up something and changes that faction's opinions or the way they interact with other players, or that player in particular.
That's kind of the RTS elements that you love, though, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, well, it's not just about the strategy; it's about the tactics, and also it could be to do with the politics of it. You know, the choices you make. So it's like in RPGs, where depending on how you talk to someone, you get different answers out of them. It could be like that in this, whether you're talking or actions, whether you decide to save someone or rob a village or kill a certain person. It could affect the whole world that everyone's playing in. And I like that. I think that really will immerse people in the world.
Just reading up something now. Someone has basically he's made maps of Dark Souls, right? So he's basically taken the maps of the Dark Souls and he's put dots on it where everyone's died.
Right,
and
is
it's
that the whole thing. Then?
And it's pretty much just a layer of orange.
Yeah.
It's weird. It just shows you exactly. Oh, apparently orange soapstone text distribution, based on 53,305 messages by 35,127 players. Praise the Sun is the most used one, so I'm guessing that's why the amiibo that's the amiibo.
That makes sense.
So Praise the Sun is the top one, and then I Did It, or Here, or Need Humanity are the top 4. Number 5 is Good Luck.
It's a very dire world. Not as bad as Bloodborne. I think I'll probably get Dark Souls for the Switch.
Oh, so will I. It's just worth
I will
it.
play it when I'm out and about. It won't be something I'd play on the telly.
Yeah. What if you're going to play it on the TV? If you want those, like,
I'll just play it
absolute
for the PC.
visuals, yeah, you'd go for the PC or you'd go for the PS4 Pro.
I think the visuals weren't great anyway. The game engines weren't built for that from software. So
yeah. Well, on that note, I think that we should probably start thinking about bringing this to an end.
Let's wrap it up like a gift at Christmas. Let's wrap it up
like a gifty,
like a gift at Christmas,
like an unwanted red-headed stepchild.
I wouldn't wrap it up. Just throw it out the window.
No, we wouldn't really. But yeah, well,
my partner's a redhead, so no, I wouldn't. If I, me and her, decided to have a baby, a little crotch goblin, as I like to call them, then it would probably be fiery on its noggin.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's mental.
Yeah, I love it. Crotch goblin, it's great. Groin spawn.
Groin spawn is fantastic.
Yeah,
that's what I'm going to name my first child.
Groin spawn.
Fuck the reference. Yeah, groin spawn. That's what I'm going to call him. Just
Come hither, groin spawn.
That'd be brilliant. But as usual, thanks ever so much for listening. We have been on for our previously rendered 2 hours, I think, or it's close to that anyway. And we need to go to bed because we've been up for a long time, chatting, debating,
definitely
preparing.
If we get to 100, Stu's going to really shake it.
Yeah, there you go. So tell your mates, just, tell your mates and say, look, still shake it if you just press that little red button.
I'll
But
be
yeah.
flicking the dollars.
Get the
Making it
Monopoly
rain.
money. But
Making
no.
it rain.
But thanks ever so much for if you're watching this and you've listened to the podcast.
Yeah, we really appreciate everyone who
Really
watches and
do,
listens.
because-
And please leave a comment because we do reply to them.
Yeah, we really enjoy doing this, and we know it doesn't go out to many people at the moment, but we appreciate that you've kind of stuck with us for this long, and you're listening, and we really do appreciate it. If you want anything mentioned on here, let us know. There should be up here somewhere. There should be like a scrolling bar. If I look at here we go. This is a perfect segment, right? You ready? If you want to talk to us in real time, we both have this on our phones. If you talk to this username on Twitter, this one here, at ModdedGossip, I'm going the wrong way, right? At ModdedGossip on Twitter, that's us. So if you want anything mentioned, or if you've got any good points or anything, by all means, give a comment at the bottom.
Ideas for content.
Yeah.
If you've got something we haven't heard about, seen about, talked about, and you think it might be interesting, then we'll look at it.
Definitely. What was also another thing that I'd kind of like to bring up is I'd like to bring people in on these podcasts, like occasionally, if we have something of a certain section. If you feel that you've got good points and you want to talk about something, like, I don't know, off the top of my head, like Monster Hunter or something, you're a big fan, you want to talk about it, and you want to enlighten it, by all means, get in contact. We'll get you on Discord and we'll get you on here. And we'll have like a little special. Obviously our weekly podcast is our thing, but we want to do little ones. But yeah,
You
just
don't
let us
have to have
know.
a camera if you don't want to be on camera. It can
You
just
do-
be
yeah.
audio.
Yeah,
It'd be like a
whatever you
radio
want.
call in. It'll be absolutely fine.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be wicked. We'll make it like a radio show.
Hello, line one. And what do you think?
Yeah, we've got Paul on line one. Say hello, Paul. Hello, guys. How you doing? Or it's going to be those fake ones. We've got Paul on line one. You bunch of cunts. You're like,
No,
shit.
it'll be. Have you claimed for PPI in the last 6 months? Call us now.
We're calling about double glazing. Fuck off, man. But yeah, as we said, we really appreciate this. Thank you ever so much. Share it with your mates. Give us a like. Give us a sub if you're feeling generous. Leave some comments. Talk to us on Twitter.
And click that bell.
And
Ding
yeah,
dong.
I don't know what the
Ding
bell
that dong.
does, but I
The
think it's
bell means
notifications.
whenever
Isn't
we
it?
bring out new content, it will notify you.
Oh, another thing. Quickly, can I just stop you there? I just punched the mic. This here. Are you an Intel or an AMD supporter?
Yeah.
We want to know this because us two, right? So no, it's reversed on Discord. It's reversed.
Yeah.
So Ali and myself, we're both on AMD with the Ryzen chips, but we're on obviously Nvidia with the graphics cards. Let us know. We want to know what your rigs are, what you play, and if you want to play with us online, just let us know.
And
But-
if you need any tips for your PC,
Talk to him.
You can always put any questions in. I'll try to answer them the best I can.
Yeah, he's an Oracle of Norwich. He's the Oracle of Norwich.
Norwich, yeah, nostalgia nerd. Love that, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
I think I'd be the Oracle of Norwich.
But yeah, just let us know. Ali will be more than happy to help with questions. And yeah, well, thanks ever so much for watching. You've obviously always been great. Thanks
Always
ever
will be great.
You always will be great, but thanks, as I said, thanks ever so much. And we will see you. This has been quite a long, drawn-out sort of goodbye, but I felt like that was one of the things that we needed to kind of say, like as we do really appreciate. Some podcasts I've seen ends like, there was one that I was watching, sorry, I'm going to digress just for a second. It was like, no, I'm not going to mention it actually. And they literally went, oh, is that it then? Yeah. And then it just faded to black, and you're like...
Yeah, we don't do that.
But no, we really appreciate you. We want you to get in touch.
Stu
But yeah.
likes to wrap up like it's a breakup.
Yeah, I do.
It's like a little bit.
It's
of
not
denial.
you, it's me.
Yeah.
It's
I
honestly, it's me. It's not
pour
you.
your heart out.
You've been perfect. But yeah, thanks ever so much. You've obviously been great. Have you got any last words for the pod before I
I've
stop?
got some closing words. First off, wickeder, jungle will always be massive. And finally, if you can't love yourself, how the hell can you love anyone else? Can I get an amen?
No.